Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, The World King, Part 20. Now, I made a fuck up in my previous video because I got my seasons wrong. We're now at the end of season, get this, 23. I think I just got a little bit confused with the update we were using because I've got to remember that this is the April 24 update, which means that this essentially starts 23-24 season as opposed to the October update, which starts 24-25. So the 23-24, we're in the year 2046. We're at the end of season 23. And on we go. And I think it was possibly always a foregone conclusion what was going to happen at the end of this season. And that is Matt has done it. Now, it looks very well. He's done it very convincing in the end with Barcelona. 12 clear. But it's not been plain sailing for him, it's fair to say. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Real Madrid lost their last game. Real Madrid, where are they there? They won that game there against Levante, but they won. But they had a really, really shit run. They had an awful run of games. And it's around here. They were thrashed at Sociedad. I think that's where it was, actually. They drew at home to Atletico. You know, they were beaten, so they hadn't won in three. They hadn't won in three, and they were always sort of a point behind. When Real Madrid played Barcelona, when they played, let me just see, that was an interesting game because I think from Matt's point of view, he was a bit gutted. He had his entire defence, well, 3 of his 4 defenders suspended, and then he had his an injury. He had a bit of a horrid time of late. He went out of the I've just thought. So he went out of the cup right after when he had 2 red cards. So he had a bit of a fucking meltdown because, as you can see there, he hadn't won in 3 games, and I think we all do it. We all have meltdowns. I know I fucking do. But do you know what? The leg is complete. The leg is complete for Matt, and he made his 7 signings, as we know. He's got signings lined up for next season, subject to be pulled if he moves, and I feel he will move. It's a World Cup year. It is a World Cup year. Over to me at Olympiacos. Yeah, of course we did. Again, it was a tough old start. I think the first half of the season wasn't as plain sailing, and I feel that when we drew 3 games, we were only 3 points clear of Heracles. But I think we held firm, and we did it as a double. We beat AEK in the final, although we were skating on thin ice over here with the red card and the injury. But so we've done it, and that is leg 13 complete for me. So now it's a case of just reminding you guys. The only place I've got to go now is Australia. I've got to return to Australia. Now that's going to be very difficult for me because whilst we've been looking for new jobs when we finish a leg, there's multiple options. Now it's restricted. It's got to be Australia, and it's got to be a half decent team in Australia. For Matt, he's got to do Australia. He's got to do Argentina, and he's got to do Belgium. He's got to do the top 3. All the others are ticked off for Matt. So it's going to be very interesting. I have a theory what I'm going to possibly do. I think it's going to be very unlikely I'm going to get exactly what I want. I think I did read Central Coast, though, very insecure, Australia. But, you know what, looking at the resources, 5.5 to spend. They've not got the highest value team. I think it's a tricky one. It'd be a real tricky one to do. But I have to consider it, really. I will consider it. I haven't even looked at their squad properly to think, have they got a squad capable of challenging? And it isn't really. I mean, he's all right. I don't know. They have to come available yet. They do. One of my theories is that I may, if I get it, of course, go to Arsenal. Now, you're thinking, how do you know it's going to come available? Well, Arteta is going to retire. I'm sure he's going to retire. So which means Arsenal will come available, and Arsenal have some real credentials, not just that money, but they've got some absolute fucking monsters. Haaland regen, right there. I don't even know who Fabiano is, but they've also got Jude Bellingham regen. They've got multiple absolute quality players. It would be a great... I mean, it would probably be an easy title, to be honest with you. So the plan would be to go to Arsenal. Is that who I think it is? I remember him. It might be go to Arsenal until the right Australia job comes, but no one really knows when that could be. It could be I go to Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund. Who knows? There was one interesting fact of this season. At the end of season 23, the Premier League went to Barrow. Fucking Barrow. Unbelievable that Barrow win the Premier League. It's always been top teams, apart from West Ham. It's always been the top teams. But Barrow win the Premiership. Absolutely insane. It really is. And they'd spent 115 million as well. They'd spent well. Well, it's obviously been justified. So absolutely crazy to see. Really is crazy to see. So for Matt, I mean, there is an option. I'm talking about going to a team until an Australia team comes. Because, you know, there's no guarantee. Matt will possibly leave Barcelona and possibly leave to go to an Argentine club, an Australian club maybe, or a Belgian club. Now, if Cercle Bruges come up, or Genk, I think Matt will bite their hands off. If Boca Juniors or River Plate come up, I think he'll bite their hands off. Of course, I could then go to Barcelona and wait out of Barcelona. Obviously, we do have an agreement, me and Matt, that when you leave a club, you can pull out the deals. You know, and Matt would... I mean, if Matt was to go to... I don't know, a Belgian club, he probably wouldn't pull out the big deals because, you know, it's not gonna affect him going to a mediocre rep club. He's not gonna be able to get them. Of course, let me remind you that if that were to happen, if Matt was to leave Barcelona as is with players going, and I were to take over Barcelona, any of those deals are pre-arranged before my appointment, so I could then get 7. So I could build an invincible team, so to speak. But it isn't really about that. I mean, you know, they have got some fucking huge money. They've still got over $500 million. You know, really is crazy. There's certain teams that does not interest me in terms of going to, and that is like Real Madrid. That doesn't interest me. Let's have a look. Cool, fucking hell, they finished 9th. Jeez, man, look at that. So Dortmund finished 9th in the table. Did not see that coming, but I think they're the richest team in the world. 1.6 billion for them. Bayern Munich, let's have a look. They've got an they've still got a quality squad. 1.35 billion. So that is absolutely crazy that they won it. That really is crazy. But you know what? Life's full of surprises. It really is. What I was going to check. Let's just check. If I go to Germany, right, I would actually like to go to Bayern Munich. Truth be told, and the only reason I'd like to go to Bayern Munich is because I've done it with Dortmund. So I'd like to go to I'd like to go to Bayern Munich in order to take the top 2. I'd like to go to Barcelona because I've done it with Real Madrid. I've done it in Scotland with Celtic and Rangers, you know, but it's all about the rep. And going back with that in mind, let's go to Italy now. I've done it with Inter Milan, with AC Milan. So if we can get it with Inter, then great stuff. You know, but that's if Inter come available. Let's just have a look at their manager. He could retire. He could retire. They've got a bit of money to work with. They've got some great players. Let's see if they've got any future deals. They've got a Bosman coming. It's got a shit Bosman coming. Okay, I mean, that's an option. I didn't see that before. Inter Milan. But I think Arsenal would be better. Arsenal would be a better team. I think me and Matt, we often said we would like to, based on our previous game, the Game On Challenge, the ODB, where we had long stints with Bayern Munich and Dortmund, like 10 season plus. You know, that's what led to the 100 plus season game, of course. I think that is on the agenda, but there's so much money circulating around within this game. It's crazy. So if it's Spain, it needs to be Barcelona. If it's Italy, it needs to be Inter Milan. If it's Germany, it needs to be Bayern Munich. England, Arsenal is an option. It's going to be an interesting one. It really is. But ultimately, I would like to get to Australia. So I don't know. You know, it could be a tricky one. Let me just have another look at Central Coast. See if they've got any pre-arranged deals. Popovic. So he would be all right. I know what the rough quality is going to be, so he would be okay. But he's going to cost $2.5 million, and already that's going to take players off. So it will be very, very tricky indeed. But we shall see. We shall see. And that's it from me, guys, on the World King Challenge. And until next time, take it easy.